Take a look. It's May 16th, 2025. I am at Joel Pearl, thejoelpearl.com on Blue Sky, and it's time to get in the weeds. Your fantabulous Friday is here. The sun is shining where I am. The clouds are not existing, which is great. It's a beautiful day in Toronto. Jeremy Lambert is here. The cars are looking bright and shiny. How are you doing this morning?
I don't know. I'm alive.
That's a start.
Yeah.
It's Friday. You know, you got plenty to celebrate. There's no pay-per-view this weekend.
Nope.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. There's
misery.
Okay.
Misery and more misery. And after that, Joel.
Anarchy?
Misery.
Oh, misery. I thought it was going to be something different.
All misery. All misery all the time.
I don't know. It's nice. It's nice outside. Go for
misery.
A run.
It's misery. Nope. Just going to be miserable until Sunday, and then I'm going to be even more miserable after Sunday.
It's a matinee, right?
Yeah, this stupid game's at 3:30.
Okay. Well, for now, we'll be okay. Someone's saying keep it PG. That's not my problem. I'm not the one. My kid's not listening today.
No.
Whoa. I had to sing that for him last night. I'm the main character. I'm Pat McAfee. Yeah, I had to do that. Kid wanted that one. He's like, what show is that from? I'm like, not important. Please stop.
You gotta have SP3 record it. I mean, I guess you can cut that part. He doesn't cuss on that part. So
yep.
You just play that SP3 lullabies.
And then if I ever want my kid to never jump on a trampoline, I can just play the part with the trampoline. Because SP3 hates trampolines. I grew up in an apartment. It's not fair. People that didn't have trampolines where I grew up. Oh, well, I didn't have a trampoline either, but Pat McAfee clearly did. Oh, nobody likes Pat McAfee except for Pat and Michael Cole. Michael Cole loves him. Gets drunk just to show up on stage at a show that he's putting on.
Yeah.
This is what you do. When you show up for your friends, you get drunk. I was sober as hell at your wedding. Oh my gosh. Anyway, it's Friday. There's stuff to talk about. There's not a ton, but we'll get into some stuff. We'll get into some shiz. How about that? But first, let's get into a thumbs up on the video. Go ahead. Why not? Bring out the fireworks. Bring out the pyro. I think you need two. Just a thumbs up. Can you get the subliminal thumbs up message? Come on.
No. Nothing wants to work.
That's upset. Oh, there it is. Get your thumbs up in while you're at it. You can go and subscribe to the channel. We like that. No, don't do that. No, don't do that. No, enough people have done that in the past. We don't need more of those. Get those off the screen. Go away. Stop it.
That's how I'm feeling.
No misery. Oh no, it's raining. He's getting all wet and cloudy. And you can donate a super chat. Any amount.
Distinct lack of thunder in that emote there because it doesn't exist.
Also because it's not a sound emoji.
They could still show it.
That's true. Hey, like I was saying, super chats, any amount, get your question or statement right on the air. How about that? If you, for some reason, decide to donate a humper chat, don't know why you would, other than the fact that you can't donate a super chat for whatever reason, looking at you, Meat Enormous, just let us know, and we'll go in and we'll read it on the air. Oh, allergies. We're good.
Nah.
Yeah, it's surviving, you know. Well, listen, you had your brand of misery to deal with last night. I had my brand of misery to deal with. I had to watch TNA.
So that's not.
It was pretty miserable, Jeremy.
Yeah, I watched it too. Let's not act like I.
Well, I don't know what you cover. Some nights you're covering a different show. That's all.
Chill.
You're right. I have a few more days to use that until it hopefully becomes different.
Today, hopefully.
That's true. That's right. I saw it.
Yeah. No, I. That's what makes it worse. You know what I mean? Is like. I can't even be miserable just like watching the game That's enough misery as it is. It's like, oh God, now I gotta watch this Tessa Blanchard and Alicia Fox versus Nikita Lyons in Masha Slamovich match. Oh, here comes Santino. What's Robert Stone doing? What can I just watch Jalen Williams brick another mid-range in peace? Do I really gotta sit here and see Nikita Lyons throwing her spin kicks? If I wanted to watch ass, I'm already watching the Thunder. I don't need more ass as I watch TNA as well.
In which the A in TNA does not stand for ass, which would traditionally in other forms. Yeah, not a great opener. Not great. And it's one of those matches where you just look at it and you say, "Oh, poor Masha," which is something people generally don't have to say, but now we're actually saying it out loud. Under Siege is next Friday, and I'm still very much on the fence.
That card sucks.
It sucks. They announced the Elegances versus Spitfire, and I was like, for what? For why? For whom? They already had their contractual rematch. We've already done this match 20 times. It's over. Let it go. And then I realized, oh, it's because they booked Jody and Tessa in Niagara Falls, 2 nights later. So they just wanted to get bang for their buck. The good news out of all this is that Jody Threat's hand is apparently good enough that she can wrestle, which is great because she had busted her hand up. So, that's cool. But other than that, tag title match, like Ryan Lambert said in the chat, that was a choice.
I saw that and I'm just like, they don't have anybody else? Clearly they don't. Because they were using the NXT women. And
then they fired half
they released half of them. So they couldn't even go to that well. Like, I feel like I've seen this match 100 times this year. The Elegances and the Spitfire. Like, I have no interest in this. I have no interest in this pay-per-view. They're doing what, the Santino and Robert Stone debate? What is this?
That's next week.
Yeah, I know. That's on the show.
Yeah, but you know what? The only way that this debate thing would be okay is if they change the match that they've already announced. So they announced it's Tessa and Ariana Grace, which is another one that's like, Ariana Grace doesn't wrestle but 4 times a year. Why are we doing this? If you can turn it into a mixed tag and Robbie E and Santino are in there, that doesn't make it better, but at least it makes it different. And I could deal with that. But I don't think they're going to do that. I just think they're going to stick with those 2 men in the corners of their representatives. And it's not good at all.
I got no interest in this pay-per-view. There's not a single match on this card that I'm like, that's cool. That'll be fun. Like, nothing. We love Steve Macklin. Him, Matt Cardona is like fine.
Well, that match hasn't even been officially announced yet. They announced Cardona won, but they haven't added it to the card yet, as far as I saw.
Oh, they put out the tweet that it's on the card.
Did they?
Yeah.
It's not on the website, which is something that they're normally pretty good at doing. So I'm curious. I thought it's on the show too. I think it's on the show. I hadn't seen the official card announcement.
Yeah, they didn't put out like the graphic, which they typically do.
I feel like they might put it to tapings.
Well, that makes it worse.
Yes, it does. It just says Matt Cardona is the number 1 contender for Steve Macklin's international title. They did not put the card out. Then they're normally very good at keeping up with that because they know they have the tape show. It's done. They just I don't think it's on the card unless they add it next week, because otherwise it's a full card already. They have 7 matches.
Oh, that's even worse then.
Yeah, it's not great. Because now I'm just like, if they don't put the Macklin match on, I'm definitely not interested. So they lost me with Tessa and Grace. And then they kind of won me back with AJ Francis and Santana, just because I like both those dudes. And it's fun to just watch Santana beat guys up. Other than that, like the Nemitz and Matt Hardy and Leon Slater, sure, I know how this ends, but also I can watch that match and enjoy it. Edwards and Diener is a very interesting match, but it's completely useless. So Chris and I talked about it last night. Yes, it is not interesting, but the only thing that's interesting is if this is Cody Diener's last match, they're doing it in the right place because Diener is from the Ontario region. Like they're building it up as like this is a deal for him. Diener doesn't need. Diener can have a send off. This could be it. My bigger question is what's the point of doing this with Eddie? Like, what does Edward Edwards get out of this? If he wins, does it mean anything? That's kind of where I'm asking what's going to be next week. Are they going to do a thing with Eddie Edwards where he explains why he's going to retire Diener or whatever it is? That's like the matchup's going to be fun, but otherwise the match has no reason to exist.
Nothing on this card is good. I stand by that.
No, I think you're right. I mean, immediately they announced, Masha and Crawford, and I was like, well, that's not good. And then this main event, the Trick and Frankie versus Joe and Elijah, is just like, you're doing this all in service of the Battleground pay-per-view happening on Sunday. Of next Sunday, I mean, not this Sunday, next Sunday.
Yeah. Nothing. There is not a single thing on this card that I'm like, yeah. That's a cool match. That's a cool match right there. Like, yep. There just isn't.
And like, there's nothing they can add to it on the countdown that would save this. Like, and this is countdown. I know this is the thing. It's like you could do a countdown match, and that's about it. And it'll be like the Good Hands against the Rascals again. This feels like it's a bit of a stripped down roster at this point. It's not great.
It's not though. Like it's their full roster.
I know. I'm not saying the show in general. I'm just saying like their roster feels just depleted. It's not, but it just the way it feels is that way.
Well, Joel, all they need is a television deal. Once they get that television deal, they're going to be the number 2 company, and it'll be fine.
I'm literally looking through this group of people. They'll probably do an Elijah Open challenge again. Oh no, he's in the main event. What am I saying?
Yeah.
There's nothing. There is nothing here. JDC, maybe Moose will. No, they're probably going to give Moose day off at this point. Wow. Mance, no. Ali's not working. Maybe the Aztecas.
I think they'll add Indy against Tasha Steelz. They kind of set that up last night.
I was wondering, it's either going to be on the countdown or it's going to be on the main card, or they're going to do it at the tapings, which I think is more likely for the tapings.
All right.
Yeah. There's nothing here that's like they'll do Brookside and Rosemary 4, and this will be the official turn. They'll do Rosemary gets a partner, they'll do Brookside and Lee, and this is when Zai Brookside turns heel. Like, yeah. Sorry. I mean, we talked about it earlier, just not happening. Just not a good show.
Well, I'll be dead on Sunday, so it doesn't really matter. I'm not watching this show.
Fair. That's right. People saying the hospital beeping is back. So
is it?
Yeah.
I'll switch and see what I can do.
That's fine. I'll just cover this one. So we're expecting Trick to win the TNA title. There's definitely some credence to it. I mean, the whole thing with Trick having this opportunity and them doing it at the pay-per-view or at the PLE for NXT, that's like the moment. But then you got to deal with Trick as a character in TNA. Jeremy and I talked about this on Monday, that there's a certain amount of like taping magic that has to go through this to have Trick hold the title between Battleground and Slammiversary in July, assuming that he would hold it to Slammiversary and then drop it to someone like Santana.
I think he's going to win the title. I've been kind of steadfast in that belief. What does it accomplish? I don't know.
So what it does accomplish is, if you want to have I go back to this all the time. Joe Hendry does put butts in seats. No one has denied that. No one's denied that he sells tickets, and so does the Hardys. I know I'm on the Santana train, and I continue to be that way. They did the heat check with Santana and Trick. What if this is all just in service of having Joe Hendry recapture the world title at Slammiversary? because that's a rematch and a match, and it's 1-1, and then that's it.
Okay.
Exactly. Like for me, who covers the show and talks about it, for me, it's exactly that. It's okay. I would prefer, like I said, I just prefer Santana. He is up next. He is that guy. They should be doing it with him. But as of right now, this Under Siege show, it's a Friday night that just doesn't exist. Go watch SmackDown. And that's not something I always say. Go see Jeff Cobb do stuff. He'll probably have a match next week.
I mean, they got nothing announced for tonight's episode, so I can't imagine they know what's going on next week.
They really don't, eh? I was about to look this up. I was like, we don't have a SmackDown preview.
It's there. It's Money in the Bank qualifiers. That's it.
Woo! Fun. Why
But
is
we
this
don't-
entirely in Arabic?
What?
Oh, they're just doing multiple. That's weird. I'm on the website, and under SmackDown, they've got full highlights, but then they have complete results, but in Spanish, and then they have them in Arabic. Just
Okay.
totally out there. But anyway, yeah, there are qualifier matches. And have they announced these qualifying matches? No.
No.
I'm sure like 3:00 we'll find out what they are.
Yeah, probably.
Woof. SmackDown preview. Nothing. Oh, absurd. Anyway. Yeah, so that's kind of where we're at with Under Siege. It's just there. But we know where we can watch it. We don't know where we can watch Double or Nothing yet, other than traditional pay-per-view. Triller hasn't announced anything. Like they haven't put it up on their website yet.
Oh, okay.
YouTube as well. Some people were asking in the Fightful Discord, and I thought that was kind of interesting because again, we're a week away from the show. Typically, I watch it on Triller. Once in a while, I'll watch it on YouTube, but I was just kind of curious, and I went in, and you can watch it on Amazon Prime. Obviously, there's traditional pay-per-view. I don't even assume at this point. Like I don't know what the max situation is when it comes to pay-per-view because nothing's been hashed out or announced. But yeah, I just noticed that. Just like someone had asked in the chat, like what's going on with the pay-per-view situation. But apparently it goes live on one of the platforms in 2 days. And if it doesn't go live everywhere else, that's when we should really start asking questions. So it's curious. But, I'm looking forward to Double or Nothing. I thought they did all the things that they talked about they were going to do. Sean in the chat saying, not our Sean, a different Sean, saying Trillers may be waiting to announce a bundle of Double or Nothing, Forbidden Door, and All In. It could be that. I think it's more likely just Double or Nothing and Forbidden Door because they do 2 now instead of 3. So that could be it, but nothing's been announced and we're just kind of waiting. Amazon is on the 18th. So we'll see where it lands because traditionally it's on Triller. And like I said, that's where I'll normally find it. It's just weird that it's not listed. Yeah. But we're going to have Anarchy. We also don't know how many people are going to be in that match.
There should not be a set number.
You think it should just be like an open locker room brawl? I'm not against the idea.
It's called Anarchy in the Arena. Why do we need a set number of people for this? Just have as many people that want to come in and fight anyway. I mean, technically, it could just be Jon Moxley against Swerve Strickland. Then you gotta pen that person, or that person's got to score the pinfall. But it can be as many people interfering in the match as you want. Even if it's 10 on 10, what's stopping an 11th person from just interfering?
Tony should get involved. Tony should just walk out with a flamethrower and be like, picking up where I left off. Darby can't do it, so I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
No, I largely agree. It should just be an open-ended fight, and you could get away with it. But it's just it was a very chaotic scene at the end of Dynamite, which was to be expected. You and I talked about this. They didn't do the cage door, the cage gets lifted and that's the finish. They did the cage spot, but it was afterwards. So at least they did it in service of the beatdown and all that stuff. I thought that was the best way that they could handle it. Gabe Kidd, though, that was hilarious. Because for 2 reasons. One, the reaction on the internet was funny because to be perfectly frank, I knew immediately that it was Gabe Kidd, and I can't tell you why because it's just that face is just remarkable. you will always notice Gabe Kidd's face, or at least I will always remark. Like, I'll always know when it's Gabe, not just because of the face, but just the build. He's a thick, stocky boy, and so when I saw the hood up and everything, I was like, Gabe Kidd, and everyone else was like, is that Bryan Danielson? I was like, it's not Bryan Danielson, but yeah, Gabe Kidd showing up was a choice. Curious as to what allegiance he has, if anything, because he just fought against the Young Bucks in New Japan. He doesn't like the Good Brothers, who were teaming with the Young Bucks on New Japan. Doesn't really care much for Moxley. He doesn't like anybody. He's in it for himself. Is he just here for the anarchy, or what's the Gabe Kidd placement in all this? Is this to make a deal with the Bucks so that he could get a title shot down the line? Like, I'm curious about where Gabe Kidd slots in storyline wise.
I feel like it's in service for Eddie Kingston to come back, because remember they shot that angle between Gabe Kidd and Mark Briscoe, and then clearly didn't do anything with that. So
clearly, you just jogged my memory of it, so thank you for that.
Yeah. For those that don't know, they shot an angle with Gabe Kidd and Mark Briscoe. I don't remember if it aired on the television show. It definitely aired on socials, though. You can find it online somewhere, I'm sure. But it was after Gabe Kidd had his fought on Collision. I don't remember who he beat, like the Butcher on Collision. Yeah, he beat him, and then they did an angle with Mark Briscoe and Gabe Kidd, and then Gabe Kidd wasn't seen for months, and then he returned on Wednesday, and now all of a sudden he's helping Jon Moxley. So, and Mark Briscoe, he's out here challenging Ricochet to a stretcher match. So I don't think we're getting any type of Gabe Kidd, Mark Briscoe conclusion anytime soon. So it just feels like it's in service to bring back Eddie Kingston, which I'm fully for Eddie Kingston being back in the mix. But yeah, they got to give some type of explanation as to why Gabe Kidd made this choice, and as to why Gabe Kidd and Mark Briscoe are not continuing anything.
I know that some people have been on the Gabe Kidd versus Will Ospreay world title match at Forbidden Door train. There have been a lot of people who think, Ospreay should win the Owen, go on, beat Mox it all in, and then at Forbidden Door.
Yeah, Will Ospreay has been on that train.
Will's not the only one. I can tell you there are some numerous people, I should say, who have been putting it out there. I'm still of the belief that Mox holds on until Darby comes back. I'm still there. Just they haven't pivoted much. They've done little pivots here and there. They haven't given me much reason to believe that they're doing it differently than what they had in mind, at least for the end goal, not necessarily the beat by beat. I still think we're there. However, Gabe coming in could potentially set up some sort of title match down the line, or at least some sort of feud going into Forbidden Door against Ospreay. If Gabe captures a title in New Japan, you could make that for a title, but I don't think it's going to be that. It's curious. I had a good laugh with Gabe coming in a good way, because I think that when you add Gabe Kidd to a match like this, especially, you yield positive results. Going back to the Briscoe thing, that was the beginning of the year. That was, I think it was January is what I'm seeing here. January 3rd on socials after a match on Collision.
Yeah. Oh,
just happened.
Absolutely nowhere.
Oh, sorry, it was March 1st.
Okay.
I flipped the dates.
Regardless, so, yeah. Went absolutely nowhere.
No, it didn't. And then people had asked, Mark Briscoe about Gabe Kidd, and he gave his thoughts, but otherwise they just haven't done it. Redmond Survivor saying they could easily explain it as Gabe wanting another chance to beat up Kenny Omega. We don't even know if Kenny's going to be in the match. I assume he's going to be. However, it looks like they're trying to play up Speedball versus Okada as a potential match at Double or Nothing. So you're just taking Okada out of the anarchy in the arena and just keeping them apart. I don't hate that. They shouldn't touch much other than, Okada just punching Kenny in his diverticulitis.
Okada ain't doing this anarchy in the arena shit again. He
hated it the first.
He got enough of it last time, and I think they realized, oh yeah, we love Okada, but this ain't for him. So, no. I mean, look, you can put Okada and Speedball in the anarchy in the arena match. Like, you can do that. I think all parties kind of realize Okada ain't one for that kind of match. He's gonna deliver his Hulk Hogan chair shots, and he's gonna, casually and daintily put on his thumbtack elbow pad and everything, and that's it. Yeah, Okada ain't taking hard bumps. Okada ain't bleeding. He ain't getting hit with a bunch of shit. He's him and Speedball. If that's the Speedball actually likes to do this fun stuff. Like he likes to do some dumb stuff. So he'd actually be pretty fun in this. Okada, I'm trying to think who he'd work with, like on the other side. Like everyone, Okada and Shibata are just gonna find like a corner and just
slap the
do some
shit out of each other.
punchings.
Just slap
Yeah,
each other.
yeah, and that's it. Like they're not gonna do anything else. It's gonna sit in one corner, literally sit in the corner and just slap each other. Old dojo days and everything, and that's all. Like they ain't doing anything else. And then the camera will pan away from them. Though it'll be in the backstage area too. So that way it's not even like in front of the crowd to where they got to keep going to keep up appearances. They're going to be told, oh, camera's gone. All right. They're playing blackjack when the cameras are off. All right, guys, camera's back on. Okay, slap. People are like, why's a blackjack game going on?
Where are those poker chips coming from? It's Double or Nothing, baby. I wanted them to be like in a box high above the arena, like in a nice suite, and they're just back and forth, just slap. Now give me a taste. Slap. Just back and forth. But I like the idea of doing a blackjack game in between, and then they get caught. You're not fighting at all.
Yeah, Okada ain't doing this Anarchy in the Arena shit again. He just
That's
ain't.
fine. I would prefer Okada and Speedball for the Continental Championship. It sucks that, we would be doing this just to have Speedball lose another match on pay-per-view, but it's Speedball. Like I said, I've said this 100 times. Speedball does not care. He's there to have fun and have good matches and do things that are very Speedball-esque. And I'm sure he and Okada will have not just some great exchanges, but also some hilarious, like, comedy style wrestling in their match. I wouldn't hate that. Let him go 18 minutes. Let him go maybe 19 and a half, whatever it is. Just go the full length to the Continental Championship. Okada wins. We're good. And then maybe they get involved later in the match, like in Anarchy. They have a little run-in spot, and that's it. You can easily just get away with that.
Sure.
Let everyone who has a match at Double or Nothing has an open invite to Anarchy in the Arena. That's
the Anarchy in the Arena should go on like the entire show, as other matches are also going on. So like people are just brawling around the arena as Tony Storm is facing Mina Shirakawa. And then maybe they get rolled up into the match as well. Like that's what it should be. They play in the music throughout the matches too. Tony Storm would have some great musical choices, the classic music going on during Anarchy in the Arena. That'd be good. Would that set the record for like longest match of all time? It'd be like a 4-hour match because it wouldn't end until the end of the pay-per-view. There's no way that any other match has gone like 4 hours in wrestling history.
Yeah, I doubt it. I think it'd be very funny though. Mikey Ruckus said last night, Anarchy in the Arena music loop should be Primus's Jerry Was a Race Car Driver, which I thought was very funny. And it's just that.
I don't know.
Jerry was a race car driver. Dance so fast. Anyway, then I said maybe it's a Supertramp playlist. Just a 70s bar mitzvah playlist.
Okay.
Awful klezmer music the whole time as these guys are beating each other up. Triple H versus Roman felt long as 4 hours.
That's true.
16 minutes felt every bit of 4 hours.
Yeah, that did feel like a 4-hour match. I agree with that. It should be a 4-hour match. It's the whole show.
It's theater. Listen, that's what it is. Anarchy in the Arena is theater. You are in the match. You are at the venue. You are experiencing these men and women beating each other up around you. It is fully immersive. And if you want to get involved in the fighting, go on ahead. It's part of your ticket. You paid your $80. You start throwing fists.
I feel like that might lead to some lawsuits and stuff. So.
Not my problem. I'm just a harbinger of sorrow and fighting.
All right.
And they should just play heavy metal. Just play Opeth the whole time. You're going to go. and just play acid bath.
Xeno Hours got it, but Tony Khan's a coward who hates Jax, and he will not get the rights to Lovin' on Me by Jack Harlow, and Blake Christian will not get a victory on AEW television because Tony Khan, famous coward.
Someone in our Fightful Select Discord actually asked, why is Blake Christian getting so many opportunities on Collision?
Was it Kimmy?
No. I told Kimmy yesterday to stop worrying about Ring of Honor after the whole Sons of Texas segments in Top Flight and the Hurt Syndicate. She's just like, why are they going after the Ring of Honor tag titles? I'm like, they should just combine all of them and stop making Ring of Honor a thing. It's not a thing. Put it away.
They should use I'm So Excited by the Pointer Sisters. They still got the rights to it. They're like, we only played this thing once. We gotta somehow get our money's worth on this. So we need to play it.
Yeah, Crew was around there too. Crew's always around. So this was the question that was asked in the Ask SRS Discord. It hasn't been an answer, but here it is. I'm in no way burying him or questioning his appeal, but Blake Christian has been on AEW TV a lot lately. Did he win a drawing backstage or something? I like his work overall. He works well with more athletic matches, but it just kind of occurred to me that he's been on consistently for a couple of months now and had not previously. More power to him for the exposure. So the question in here is, did Blake Christian win a backstage draw?
I'm vanilla, baby.
He's vanilla $1 million baby. Wait, nobody else is pulling ratings like Blake Christian.
It's true.
Who else is doing 1 million viewers? No one. Ain't cracked 1 million in forever. You put Blake Christian on the show, all of a sudden, 1 million viewers. Why? This is why this person is asking questions in a Discord and ain't running his own wrestling company because he doesn't recognize the draws in wrestling.
He's advertised for Collision, so it'll be another test of the ratings again.
He's gonna do 1 million, and even if he doesn't, I'm gonna lie and say he did.
Perfect. $1 million baby right there. $1 million vanilla baby, as you said.
That's right.
That should be his new he's already coming out in a boxing robe, so he should just level up, call himself million. He should win $1 million match, and then he can call himself $1 million vanilla baby, and he can wear boxing gloves to the ring. People will get it.
You know, I'm trying to bully Tony into this theme. I've been trying to bully Tony.
Can't confirm. You actually did try to do this recently. It was very funny.
I need more people to help me with this. Mina Shirakawa gets a new theme.
You're welcome for that.
Which I thought it was good.
Nah.
But then everyone was like, oh, this is awful. And I just changed it back. I need more people on my side to get the Jack Harlow song. Come on, guys. Like we gotta all band it. It can't be just me and then people retweet and like that. We gotta all band together and do this.
Well, I thought the retweet was us kind of agreeing with you.
No, not enough people are retweeting it. They're just liking the tweet.
You gotta retweet it, put it out there that you're endorsing the idea. Yeah, it's funny that Ruckus had to post the 50 Cent GIF after the Mina theme. He didn't even do it. And he didn't even make it. Someone else had made it. Yeah. I think it was someone who had done Mercedes' theme, or at least the beat. Someone had put it out there. It was one of the Mercedes stands put it out there. But yeah, regardless, Mina Shirakawa comes out, has the new theme. And I was like, no more Danza Kuduro? All right, this company's washed. Pack it up. It's over. And then people were asking about the song, and I found a clip of me playing the song. And then in that moment, they're like, oh, they switched back because they listened to you. I'm like, goddamn right, they listened to me. Tony listens to me and me exclusively. I'm in his ear every Wednesday night from 8 to 10.
That's unfortunate.
That would be awful. I would hate myself if I did that. Okay, now book the Death Riders versus Samoa Joe and, I don't know, Blake Christian. Oh, pass. Your feed went out, Joel. Damn it, Tony. Mina is going to be facing Tony Storm, speaking of Tony's, for the women's championship. You said that was what it was going to be. You had the inside track. Did you sports bet on it?
No, I don't bet on wrestling.
I feel like none of us do. I feel like Jensen would start if you gave him the outlets.
Jensen would 100%. Jensen is.
I heard. My God, go ahead.
He's got a problem. You know the episode of The Office where they're like gambling on just like
Everything.
various things around the office?
Yes.
Oh, how many M&Ms are in the candy jar? Oh, how many marshmallows can Kevin stuff into his mouth? Like that's what Jensen is doing. He's got an addiction. I'm a little bit worried about him. I don't get people who are like, you're gambling on other people playing video games. You know what I mean? Like that's insane to me. I understand that like people are good at video games and whatever, but like how do you even like handicap that or whatever? Like at least like sports, these are pro athletes, you know what you're getting for the most part. It's still like it's a risk obviously to bet on sports, but like other people playing on video games, that's absurd to me. I don't know. I think I'm pretty good at 2K. I don't know. Like I don't play online or anything. But like, why would anybody bet on like me playing 2K against someone else? That's people bet on esports. Yeah, like Jensen is absurd. But like it's a thing. Like, you know, I got gambling apps. I partake. It's legal here in Ohio. I ain't saying anything out of pocket. But when I open the apps, esports are on there. And I'm like, I couldn't even pretend to bet on this stuff. He bets on people playing like not even like NBA 2K or anything like that. He bets on people like playing like Fortnite and Call of Duty and stuff. Like that's huh?
It's kind of weird. What really stood out to me was yesterday at the end of Spotlight when he talked about King Potate mentioned it, how fast they can change the tires in an F1.
Yeah, like what?
I think we have to stage an Inter Jensen here.
Like how fast they change the tires at F1? I don't think Jensen does the first thing about F1, by the way. I don't know if he can name you,
give you a number, and that's it.
Like I don't know if he can name you like a single driver. But he's over here betting on not who's going to win the race, not who's going to, you know, have the fastest lap, not who's going to finish top 5. Like how fast they change the tires. Like, no, I know it's a thing, Shucky Ducky. I'm not saying like Jensen admitted it was a thing. You could bet on it. And I fully believe you could bet on like anything. That's the absurdity of sports betting is like they got prop bets for everything. But doing it is like
some next level addiction.
Yes, that's insane to me. Just betting on how fast a tire is going to change. And you know, like there's prop bets on the Super Bowl. Like what color is the Gator? Like I can't imagine betting on that kind of stuff. Like what color is the Gatorade? No, I'll bet on the games. I'll bet on the players and everything. I don't do some of that prop stuff. Yeah, he's going to medieval times and he's going to bet on the jousting. Like
what? That's just like betting on the Generals to beat the Globetrotters. What are we doing?
I don't even know if that's like legal. Do they have like gambling stations set up at medieval times? It's been a while since I've gone.
I've never been. There's one in Toronto and I've never been.
Yeah, but like
a friend who worked there, for Christ's sake.
How do you bet on medieval times? Like what? What is happening that you're betting on medieval times?
Yep. Ryan Lambert pointing out, you know, as someone who's never bet on sports, it's all odd to me. I'll stick to my yearly birthday scratch off purchase. And like, I'm kind of the same way. I've never been a sports betting person. People talk about, you know, Joel goes to Vegas so often for wrestling or for other stuff. It's like, it's become like this annual thing where I end up in Vegas for a wrestling thing. I maybe put in $20 if I have time. I'm not a gambler either. I'm also like, I don't have enough to like, what's the word? Disposable income to throw it out there. Like I just don't. So for me, it's like, listen, if you can do it, great, gamble responsibly, but you get to a point where it's like you got to be careful. It's weird.
So like I gamble. I don't bet absurd amount of money. I couldn't imagine doing that. I do decent. Like I'm not saying this is like a second income or anything, but I'm up on the year and up in my lifetime when it comes to betting. So I do decent at it. I follow smart people because I don't always know what I'm talking about. And then when I have a good gut feeling on something, I know people say like don't bet on gut feelings, but like look, I've made some good money knowing that the Thunder were going 7 against the Nuggets. I made some good money knowing that the Avs were going to lose in the first round. I got good gut feelings when it comes to my teams. So I will gladly bet largely against my teams because I know how the universe works against me specifically. So I'm going to use that to my advantage. And it's called emotional hedging for those that don't know. Like, either my team's going to win, I'm going to be happy, or I'm going to win a little bit of my money. Again, not absurd amounts of money. I'm going to bet like $100 against my team. That's $10 is the most I will put on something. Yeah, it's emotional hedging. Like I know what actual hedging is. Like I've done that too, where it comes down to a parlay that I have, and it's the last leg, and if it hits, I might win $60. But then I can look at the other way and like, I can just bet here and basically come out like a couple bucks ahead. So I know hedging, arbitrage, all this stuff. Like I kind of know what I'm doing with it. Again, I don't bet absurd amount of money or anything, but I've done enough research to where I feel confident in to kind of what I'm doing with things. But I stick to just major sports and players. I can't imagine like loading up that app and betting on like Asian basketball at 3 a.m.
That's a Asian basketball.
That's a thing.
It's not good.
That's a thing.
Do you remember how Jensen has a neighbor, an elderly?
Sean, I'm putting you in timeout.
You know better, Sean. You remember he has a neighbor.
Who does?
Sean, not Sean. Sorry, Jensen has this older lady neighbor.
Yeah, they'd be fucking.
Yeah. So you think that woman has a kid that maybe Jensen could shack up with, because maybe that person would help him get right again, because could help.
What?
I just think Jensen has too much disposable income. I think he needs to reset that income into something different, and maybe seeing someone would help him. Let's set him up. Let's set him up with this woman's kid. Can we do that? I'm helping. Jensen isn't a loser teenager. Well, he covers wrestling for a living. We're all kind of loser teenagers here. There you go. Let's get a justice for Jensen. You know what I'm trying to say. We're trying to save this man. This is part of the Jensen. I think her name was Linda. You think she bets with him? Anyway, are you done?
Are you done?
Never.
That's the real question. Are you done?
I'm just trying to help. I'm just trying to help, Jeremy. Checkoffs for Jensen. Maybe that'll help. Who knows? Yeah, Cody, we need Cody back. That's gonna save everything. When Cody comes back for Money in the Bank as a bad guy, that's what's gonna fix everything. We got to get The Rock on the show. He's gonna set us all straight.
Oh, I guess
Right?
45 minutes in, so sure.
You're welcome. I got us there, baby. Hook, line, and sinker. Fightful Select reported Cody Rhodes isn't planned for a heel turn, even though Rock says they could revisit things. Last night we dropped the report that Cody Rhodes was pitched for the heel turn, but there are no plans for a heel turn. And then recently The Rock was on Pat McAfee's show saying that they could revisit that, as well as, quote, Cody selling Rock his soul. Despite those comments, as of WrestleMania, there was no plan in order to turn Cody Rhodes heel. In fact, the company had creative plans for him as a babyface throughout the year. Those that we asked about said that they didn't want to put too much of a spotlight on the situation shortly after Rock's interview, but a number of people were against the idea of turning Cody heel, noting his heavy contributions to the company's ticketing and merchandise success. So no, Cody Rhodes is not destined for a heel turn as of this moment. It would take a lot of Nick Khan-esque conversations to potentially even get us there. The battle for Cody Rhodes' soul is something that is being played on and off TV in the hilarious of ways. And eventually Cody's going to have to say enough and yell it just like he does to The Rock. Your thoughts?
I don't know. I feel like we talked about this after The Rock did his interview.
What if Rock gets his way?
What if Rock gets his way? I don't think that's happening. He would have got his way at WrestleMania. I think Triple H is going to not turn. This is what I've said before. I think he's going to not turn Cody out of spite because he doesn't want The Rock to get his way.
Now, here's the other side of it. The John Cena heel turn has been not good. We've talked about it. You've talked about it on other shows as well. What if Rock tries to turn that into a power play and say, look at this. He couldn't book this, but I could book the Cody heel turn. Here's point A, B, C. This is how it should work. And they decide, okay, let's try this because we tried the other thing. So they do a double turn. And now Cody's the bad guy. And John Cena's the baby face again. And this is all just a big serviceable dick measuring competition.
I would respect Rock so much if he went that route. If he's like
tanked my idea just to do the one I originally thought.
If he's like, you screwed up this John Cena heel turn. I told you Cody turning was a better idea, but no, you got your way, did John Cena. What'd you do with that? Screwed it up. Should have just turned Cody. Would have been much better. And then he gets his way out of it because Nick Khan and Ari Emanuel are like, what are we going to do? He's The Rock. So then they turn Cody at the end of the year. They just try to retcon the whole heel turn. End of the year, you do Cody and Cena for the title, and Cody cheats to win. And Cody realizes he needs to be a cheater just like John Cena, because look what happened when John Cena did it. You'd actually make more sense out of the John Cena heel turn too, of like, oh, Cody sees that this is actually the right way to do things instead of being a dork babyface. So he cheats, he wins the title, John Cena retires, Cody Rhodes is the heel champion. I'm for it. It's stupid, but I love stupid ideas, so I'm for it.
Just all of this in service of Cody having to turn heel for Rock. And like you said, at least you can do I learned from my hero, John Cena, that turning heel and cheating is the way to win. So I'm going to do the same thing. I love you, John Cena. Good luck in your retirement. They wheel out a big cake, and Cody just shoves Cena's face into the cake. And that's the end of the story.
What's Cody going to do? Like, you ruined wrestling, and I'm going to ruin wrestling further.
I am going to complete your mission, John Cena. I'm going to help you ruin wrestling.
And then The Rock is once again not there. The Rock just still doesn't show up because why? Why would The Rock ever decide to show up for this stuff?
I don't even know when The Rock's going to show up next. No one obviously does until
No
like
one
2 days,
does.
not even 2 days, like 2 minutes before he shows up in that big black Ford pickup truck. But I'm curious as to when we might see The Rock show up. Is there any, he's going to show up in San Diego in the middle of the baseball diamond just to bring out the War Games teams? I don't know.
The Rock ain't showing up anytime soon. I know San Diego's not till November at Survivor Series, but he ain't showing up. Like he's just
Sit in the box at MetLife Stadium, SummerSlam night 2. Him and Travis Scott.
I don't think Cody's getting that title back anytime soon, Zeno Hour. Like, I don't think it's going to be SummerSlam. I don't think it's going to be Money in the Bank. I don't think he's getting the title back anytime soon.
Do you think he wins it back at Saturday night's main event in Atlanta? Is that one of the
Thing?
It's not official. It's just one of those things with the Evolution
No,
conversation.
they're not doing that. They're not doing a title switch on Saturday night's main event.
How dare you? Saturday night's main event is a prestigious product, Jeremy. It's very inclusive IP, exclusive as well.
They're not doing title switch there. No, I don't think Cody's winning it. Yeah, maybe end of the year. I think Cena's going to hold it for probably the entire year.
So I keep going. I keep going back to San Diego. No, I agree. It's not great. I keep going back to San Diego because that gives you at least enough time to finish the John Cena arc. Because if, like we keep saying, if they're going to go in December to Boston and do what amounts to Cena's last match, then he's got to be a babyface. You can't you can have him walk into TD Garden as the bad guy who gets cheered because he's home, but like I don't think that's really good. I don't think it's really a good way to send him off. I think John Cena deserves a little bit more than that. But he should go out on his back in just the same way he came in. He should win the entire time he's a bad guy, and then when he goes back to being a good guy, first match he has loses, and that's it. And the irony is not lost on most of us.
If Triple H was not a coward, John Cena would not lose all year. He would win his last match in December. And that'd be his last match, but not his last appearance, because he has appearances, not matches left. And in his final appearance, he should say, I accomplished my goal. I told you I would win the title. I told you I would take it with me, and I would take that lineage with me. And that's exactly what I'm doing. This title no longer exists. And he takes the title with him, that ugly, giant WWE logo. And then they have to create a new title, an even bigger, uglier, giant WWE logo, I'm sure, is what they would want to do. And they reset the whole history of the title. They actually go forward with John Cena's mission. And if you think that's bad, it's supposed to be.
When is Crown Jewel Perth? It's October.
October, yeah.
I'm just thinking because they're going to do the Crown Jewel matches again.
Are they?
Yeah, that was part of the press release, is that they're going to bring the matches back.
Was it?
I believe it was. I'm almost certain it was. You can look it up in the meantime. But if
I
they're
will.
doing that, if John Cena is still holding that WWE Championship, and if it were tomorrow, he'd be going up against Jey Uso, which is hilarious in a lot of different ways. John Cena Jey Uso match. It's just, you can't see me yeet over and over again. But instead, I mean, we could be looking at Seth and John one last time, which I wouldn't hate if they do that in Australia. Because Seth, again, this has been John Cena playing a lot of the hits.
No, they're both heels.
They are both heels, but that was last year actually wasn't that. It was so much that why are we doing Gunther versus Cody now and burning that? Instead, I wouldn't hate Seth versus Cena, because they again, going back to the whole Cena's just playing his old rivalry hits. That's at least one that was very entertaining at the latter half of John's career. So that one's okay.
They are doing the stupid champion and champion gimmick at Crown Jewel Perth.
Yeah, I thought so.
That sucks.
And that's why I'm just like, is John, because John's working the show. That already has been announced. He's going to be doing the Australia show. So if he's going to be part of the Crown Jewel matches, I mean, maybe they do Jey Uso versus John Cena. It's just it's a rub for Jey Uso. It's something. But I mean, I don't know. I don't think that match is going to be very good per se. I don't think the promos are going to be very good. Now I'm really just doing Yeet versus You Can't See Me. That's all I got. That's the entirety of the match. That's the moment. Unless Gunther wins, and then you're doing Gunther versus John Cena. Or Cody wins the title by October, but then John just isn't, he's there, but he doesn't have a match, or he does have a match, and it's just, I don't know how it plays out. But I think it's more likely John goes for the Crown Jewel title and probably wins it. And then hopefully he says, I'm taking this with me and it's never coming back. And then everyone's like, oh, thank God. It's done. It's over. Bringing this back to Saudi Arabia.
They should just put all the titles on John Cena. Triple H should do like the hardest reset ever. And they put all the titles on John Cena. And he says, I got all the titles. I'm retiring them all. Start new history. And then the first episode of WWE Raw in 2026, we start a full new WWE era. New titles, new lineages. Everything that we knew of the past has been erased. It's like a whole new company starting up. Get in on the ground floor. And then it'll feel hot again because everyone loves that honeymoon period. Like, oh, cool. This is a whole new era, whole new company. It's like, AEW, those first few years. They could do no wrong. That's how WWE is going to be on the reset. You just unplug it for 15 seconds, plug it back in. That's what should happen with John Cena. He should just unplug all of WWE, and then Triple H, the savior of professional wrestling, can plug it back in.
So I largely agree with this idea. Only one problem. There are no dates in Colorado coming up for the rest of the year as of right now. At least
but it's 2026. I'm talking about 2026.
Oh, you're talking 2026. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the Rumble we know is not going to be in Colorado. So maybe it's shortly after the Rumble.
No, the first episode of Raw.
Raw
2026. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Or SmackDown, whatever show is the first show of the year. NXT, I don't know. Do it all on NXT if you need to. Do it on Evolve, whatever.
On a Friday or on a Wednesday. It'll be a SmackDown because it's the second.
Okay.
It's January 2nd. What's Thursday? Do they do any WWE show on Thursday other than TNA?
Not yet. I mean, maybe by the time we get to 2026, they will have a Thursday show, but no, all right, fine. SmackDown, first episode of SmackDown. That's the hard reset for WWE, and we're getting complete now, guys. I understand you're saying, oh, this is like WCW 2000. No. I know they like stripped the titles, and we're starting completely new lineages.
Flat.
Yep. Yeah. Seth Rollins, John Cena, Steve Austin, The Rock, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Hulk Hogan, all these people, none of them ever won this world championship. It's a fully new world championship that they get to win. All across the board. All across the board. New titles that they get to win. Then they can do, you know what, like the big milestones here. Then they can do first ever new champion, first ever new United States champion, first ever new Intercontinental champion, first ever women's new Intercontinental champion. Like you get all the first evers back again, all the new milestones. This is now the first WrestleMania. It resets WrestleMania 1.
Oh wow,
over
you're
again.
Really doing it. Okay, yeah. Okay.
Like everything just resets. We completely wipe out the history of WWE. That's what we're doing. It's a new time.
And then every interview with talent, it's just, I don't remember that.
Yeah, they act like nothing happened.
They were literally born yesterday.
Yeah.
So what do you think about this Raw from 2023? 2021? No, it's 2026.
I would do this in Ring of Hallucinations. Every year. Remember how AEW used to keep records?
Yes, they would reset the records every year.
Reset it every year. This is what I would do. Every year, everything just resets. And I tell the talent, if they do interviews or when they're tweeting or whatever, you have to act like this is a completely new concept and a completely new thing that you were going after. It's like the King of Pro Wrestling title. You know, whoever holds the title, New Japan, for those who don't know. Whoever holds the title at the end of the year, like they are the official champion. And then they got rid of that title because they're
I was going to
cowards.
say you're digging old now.
They got rid of it like 2 years ago. It's not
Yeah,
that
I know, but no one remembers this title.
cowardly. It was a cool title. It was something different. It's fun. It's hilarious that Okada created this title. He's like, oh yeah, let's do like stipulation matches. He's like, I ain't actually fighting for this damn thing. It's funny to pop myself. That's Okada. Like going back to the Okada conversation, he like loves the concept of anarchy in the arena. He's like, yeah, that sounds really cool. I ain't doing it though. I'll watch it. Sounds very fun to me. I'll laugh at these guys getting set on fire and going on thumbtacks and glass and like, bitch, that's funny. But I ain't participating in this shit.
He's just like us. Yeah, that sounds great. You want to try it? No, not at all.
This is what I would do in Ring of Hallucinations. Every year, everything just resets. And then they start over from scratch. That's my pitch. Give me the pencil.
Give me the pencil. Yeah, it was that's an idea. I don't hate it. I think it's the way it should go. And then WrestleMania New Orleans is the big first daddy of them all.
All the fans are on they're all gonna be on Molly and stuff. So they'll love this stuff in Ring of Hallucinations.
Oh yeah, we're back to Ring of Hallucinations. My bad.
Well, I mean, WWE again should do this as well. But you know, in ROH, you know, you get the first ever, you know, battleground. You get the first ever, not battleground. Sorry, final battle. I'll call it pay-per-view battleground. Whatever. WWE probably sued me on that one, so I don't know if I can get.
Doesn't matter. They're just words.
You get the first ever ROH Super Card of Honor. You know, Super Hallucinations of Honor. Super Card of Hallucinations. Yeah, that's what it should be.
Yeah.
Super Card of Hallucinations. We're breaking on the good stuff for that. Kratom. That's what we're
Death by hallucination.
Dude, I watched RVD stream last night.
Did you? I wanted to see this because I saw some people tweet about how he basically absolved GCW and gave us.
They tweeted about it because I wrote the transcription from it.
Oh, good.
He's so funny talking about the Kratom. He's like burying Dutch Mantel. He's like, Dutch Mantel is saying it's worse than heroin. Like, no, what? Where did you get this information from, Dutch Mantel? And then he's like, you know what I'm going to do right here on this stream? I'm going to take some Kratom. And he has a Woo energy drink. So Woo Energy has Kratom in it, for those that don't know. So he busts out this Woo energy drink. This is not a Woo energy drink. This is a Paw Patrol cup with water in it. But he busts out this Woo energy drink. What?
Who's on the cup?
I don't know. I don't know these fucking characters.
Bubble, Rocky, Marshall, and the police dog that nobody.
I don't want to drop the water on my computer.
Don't drop the water on your computer. It's a nice computer.
So anyway, he takes out the Kratom and he's like, he drinks it and he's like, there, took some Kratom. And then he takes it a step further. He's like, the recommended amount, I don't remember the actual amount, but let's say it's like 50 milligrams. He's like, the recommended amount is 50 milligrams. And he's like, on stream, I'm going to take 300 milligrams.
Okay, hold on. Before we get there, Kratom use is associated with stimulant effect at low doses, 1 to 5 grams. Sedative effects at higher doses, 5 to 15 grams. So with that in mind, go ahead.
All right. So whatever. He says the recommended amount. Joel just said it. And then he's like, I'm going to take 5 times. Maybe it was only 3 times. But he's like, I'm going to take 3 to 5 times the recommended amount. And so he just takes it on air. And he's like, we're going to do this stream. Tell me, guys, if I seem fucked up at any point during this stream. And they proceed to do like a 3-hour stream as RVD is on the 3 times recommended amount of Kratom. And he got through it. He was fine through the whole thing. And he just went through and he's like, see, Didn't matter. Didn't do anything. But yeah, he defended GCW with the Kratom stuff, and he's like, Sabu takes that shit every single day. He's like, he takes it every day, guys. They didn't give him anything out of the ordinary. They gave him something he takes all the time. Maybe he took a little more to help get him through the match, but it's something he takes every day. He's like, I take it almost every day. And he's like, and when I don't take it, I know I realize I don't take it. I'm like, oh, you know, it'd be good right now, some Kratom. They'll help me with some aches and pains and help me sleep better. And then he talked about the actual match, and he was like, you know what Sabu told me after this match? He's like, I want to wrestle again. We should wrestle in a barbed wire match. Like we should have a barbed wire match. And RVD was like, I would have done it if I knew like that was going to be his last match. He's like, I don't really want to do a barbed wire match, but like if I knew that was going to be his last match, I would have done it with him. So yeah, I'm glad RVD said something, because the outrage that was there for all of that was absurd. Do I think there was some stuff wrong with how they handled it? Yeah, a little bit, but let's not act like
This is
GCW is liable in his death because he took some Kratom.
Also, I'm not gonna make excuses. It's still independent wrestling. It's still dirty as hell. It just is. Wrestling is inherently dirty. That doesn't mean that what they did was illegal. Was it morally questionable? Sure. There are wrestlers who get messed up before a match, after a match, during a match, whatever. And it's just, again, like I'm not going to make excuses for wrestling as I sit and make excuses for wrestling. But it's just not, it's not safe. It's never been safe. People try to make it a little safer, but at the end of the day, it's just, wrestling is what it is. And I want it to change as much as some people do, but I can't make it happen. I don't think this was such an egregious situation that it deserves the hate that it's getting. Poorly timed in terms of the release of the article and everything. I think someone could have maybe, pulled the article for now and just been like, we got a little hard, but it is what it is.
They're doing a documentary. I'm sure more will come out on this documentary of how he was feeling and the aftermath of it all and everything. Like, I do look forward to that. I think it should be very good. And I was looking forward to it before Sabu unfortunately passed, because Janela had announced it previously. So I'm sure that'll provide a little bit more insight on things. Yeah, as far as the article, I know why they released it at the time that they did. And I think Phil Schneider is great. So I understand why they released it at the time that they did. Probably could have looked it over and edited it a little bit more to be like, all right, let's not give out full details here of what happened. Let's parse this down a little bit and explain, that it was a tough situation, but we got through it and it was good, instead of saying the stuff that was said. But it was supposed to come out like, look, if Sabu doesn't pass away and this article comes out, we're probably looking at it as like kind of what Janela says, like, fuck, Sabu's the man. He went through all that, still did his last match, and had a hell of a match, and is still like doing well and everything. But because he ended up passing, the article took on a different light. So I'm glad RVD said something, though, because way too many people were just being stupid about it. And obviously, if RVD says it, the person who was closest to Sabu, people are going to take note of that and be like, okay. Like, the thing is like, I don't think people understand. And Janela mentioned it at the Mayflower show, the JCW show. I don't think people understand like how close Sabu and Janela kind of became. Like, this was not Janela just going out there and like, oh, I really want this last match, and I want to do it against Sabu. I want Sabu's last match. Like, Sabu ain't just doing matches with anybody. Like, he's doing matches with people he respects and likes and trusts. And Janela obviously fits that boat. So I don't think people quite grasp that either, because it's not like he was hanging around Janela every week or whatever, but they clearly had a good relationship and a good bond. I think people just wanted to paint Janela in a light of, oh, see, Outlaw Mud Show stuff and GCW in that light as well, without recognizing of, oh, they had a real friendship and connection that went beyond, hey, we're just wrestling in this wrestling match. But people recognize that with RVD and Sabu because of their history and their time together. So when RVD says a lot of the things Joey Janela said, people are paying more attention to it.
Yeah. And it's frustrating also, like, we've interviewed Janela. We've had him on the show multiple times. I wouldn't even say interview, because it's just we've chatted with
Joey just comes on here and bullshits with us. It's not an interview.
And that's the whole thing, is that if you've watched Janela, especially on our show, I mean, I get it. We're not a huge numbers show, but if you've ever watched Janela talk on our show, you kind of get it. You kind of understand that, like, he's bullshitting. Like, he goes, some things are so extreme that it's hilarious. Like the Baywatch stuff I keep coming back to. You know, he'll say stuff just because it's a hilarious thing to say. And you have to kind of understand what Joey's kind of trying to say. Like, in between, you have to read between the lines with him. Nothing is 100% with Joey. And he even said it, like, in the article, he was like, I was just trying to give that last kind of Sabu dust, that last what was the word he was using? It was like just keeping the mysticism, or
the legend alive.
The legend alive, exactly. And that's what he was trying to do. He was trying to do it out of respect for wrestling and out of respect for his friend and the character that Sabu was for so long, and, you know, is at the time, because he was still alive when they did the interview. So I find it frustrating that people go after Janela because they don't know him beyond what people have said about him. Meanwhile, when we have him on the show, it's like, you kind of get it. You understand what Joey's about. And my respect for him has jumped immensely from having him on our show because of the way that he, you know, does this. And, like, you just see how much he gives a shit about wrestling and how much he cares about the people that he works with. And, like, that he doesn't take this seriously, but he does. He doesn't look like he takes it seriously, but he very much does when it's time to you know, pull up your socks and do it. So
Janela, he gets such a bad rap because I'm sure the AEW stuff plays a part in it, like, because he flamed out in AEW or whatever it was, and then he's part of GCW, and GCW is just always going to have a bad rap because of just their GCW and their Outlaw Mud Show stuff. Janela is like one of the most successful independent wrestlers out there. He doesn't need to go to AEW. He doesn't need to go to WWE. The Spring Break show is the biggest independent show every single year. You don't run that and find that much success if you don't know what you're doing in that much capacity. And not only is he successful as far as running that show and just his own success, whether it be his bookings, his merch, he clearly has the respect of so many people that matter. I tell a story. I've told it before, but I'll tell it again, of, like, when I did it was full gear. And I went around and I asked all the wrestlers of Soul Train Jones, Virgil. I was like, oh, what do you think of Soul Train Jones in AEW? How helpful has he been? It was a bit story. It was very fun, though. And Janela's like, oh, I made that happen. They were like, does anybody have Virgil's number? And I'm like, yeah, I do. And it's very, like, people who know, I'm not giving anything away here, but, like, Janela has contacts with everybody. Like, Joey Janela is like,
and you don't expect it, that he would, like, know random person X that you're just thinking of.
He is like the Kevin Bacon of all of this. Like, he is 6 degrees, 7 degrees, whatever the Kevin Bacon thing is, of separation from everyone. It's like, oh, do you need a contact for this 80s wrestler? Yeah, ask Janela. Like, he'll get you there somehow. Do you need a contact for this WWE? Yeah, just ask Joey. He'll get you there somehow. Like, he is so like respected by the by his peers and by legends because like he has respect for this stuff. Like, I know he as Joel said, like, it sometimes doesn't look like he's taking things very serious. He can be a troll online. It's hilarious, by the way. I think it's very funny, the stuff that he does online. But like, he has so much respect from so many people that you don't think that he has, because he has a bad rap from people who don't really matter.
That's it. It's people who just don't matter. But it's fine. He's gonna be fine. We're all gonna be fine. It's just it's so funny watching this guy be who he is and operate the way he operates. And you know, Janela always lands on his feet. Whatever it is, he's never hurting for anything. He's good. But yeah, like you were saying, it was good that that RVD kind of aided his friends in this regard and gave more clarity to a story that was just being blown out of proportion, in a situation that was being blown out of proportion for the wrong reasons too. I mean, yeah, I don't need to harp on it anymore. I just let Sabu rest in peace. Let the people who love him and want to grieve his passing, let them just have that, and that's it. So I heard Joey Janela is actually Triple H's burner account.
Would it shock anybody if like Janela was just like messaging dumb shit to Nick Khan and Triple H? I would like, if you tell me that Janela is involved, like, none of it would shock me, honestly.
He sends them the dumbest memes at 3 a.m. Yeah. Sends them Instagram reels just with you up.
Like, none of it would shock me. If, you know, he tells the stories on here of Baywatch 3 and stalking The Rock, paparazzi, working WrestleMania and everything. And I'm like, obviously I don't buy into these being real things. But would I be surprised if there are some like DM exchanges between Janela and Gerwitz of just random ass ideas that Joey has? Absolutely not. If you told me Janela has messaged Brian Gerwitz and been like, what do you think of this Rock stalking paparazzi angle? You think we can pull this off? Gerwitz is like, LOL, that I'll run it by Dwayne. And they would not shock me at all. But yeah, that checks out. That 100% checks out.
You think DJ wants to do this story?
Bless Joey. He rules. Love Joey Janela.
He's the Greektown Wrestling Champion now in Toronto. So now I got to go and support him next time he's in town. That'll be fun. Sure. It was actually kind of funny. I guess surprising is maybe the word. Who was on the show with him? Sorry, Jake the Snake was on the show with Joey and in the main event. And then like 3 days later, I saw the article, Jake had heart surgery, and I was like, oh my God. But of course it was scheduled. So that of course made it feel a little less weird. But yeah, Jake was in Toronto for the main event of that show. He was the enforcer for the Channing Decker versus Joey Janela match. And Ricky Berwick was there. And if you know anything about that whole thing that Joey has with Ricky, like they did a whole scene there. But yeah, long story short, Joey is the Greektown champion here in Toronto now, at least for the time being. And it was just really cool to see. It was really cool to see Jake the Snake show up. And then like 2 days later, I was like, what the hell? He's having heart surgery. Okay.
Best wishes to Jake the Snake.
Best wishes to Jake the Snake. And also to JR. The news came out yesterday. JR was announced that he was diagnosed with colon cancer. The plan is for him to be undergoing surgery in the next week or two. So we send our love to JR. It's cancer sucks. There is no other way to put it. And we hope that he fights it hard and gets through it. And he's okay at the end of this. So yeah, sending our love to JR.
Yeah, best wishes to JR. Hopefully things go well and he's able to fight through it. JR's been through a lot, had a lot of health issues. So hopefully he will still be with us, and you know, hopefully he can do some appearances some more. Like JR like he was the voice for so many people's childhood during the Attitude Era, and like so many obviously like memorable calls. I was thinking about this the other day when the discussion of AEW and like memorable calls are out there, and like you just don't think of any like super memorable AEW calls. And then you think of like how many Jim Ross had in his career. And I'd say the same thing. Like Michael Cole doesn't have like a ton of memorable calls. I think he has a few. I think he probably has more than people want to give him credit for at the moment. But Jim, just all of the calls that he had throughout his career that like defined an era. Like I don't know if that'll ever be matched.
No, I don't think it will. It's generational because you listen to JR talk about the people from his generation that influenced him, and that was on a different level, on a different scope. They were localized TV, social media wasn't around. They were stars of their areas, but JR was really one of the first in terms of announcers, wrestling stars of on a national scale and international scale as well. So he is different. That whole slew of announcers that were through the Attitude Era. Same thing with Tony Schiavone, right? You talk about him, and Jerry Lawler, same situation. Like a lot of those guys are just products of an international development of wrestling that have been the voice of generations. And so it sucks. And hopefully JR fights it, and hopefully everything turns out okay. I think a lot of the work that he's been doing lately with AEW was strong. He was they were picking their spots with him, and I think that was kind of the best thing they could have done.
Two matches on pay-per-view, which is fine. Like he's older, and through all the health issues, like I don't think Jared needed to work a 4-hour pay-per-view. So him only doing a couple matches, the matches that like he was into was probably for the best at that point.
I would argue none of us have to work a 4-hour pay-per-view, Jeremy.
Well, I want one match to go 4 hours, so
that's true. Just start it at the top, don't end it until the end of the show. People are what's the main event? Is it the finish to that match is the main event?
Yeah, technically. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I'm just thinking about it. I was like, what match would you have before? But I guess I would do the Okada match as the match before the ending of Anarchy in the Arena. Okay. Just so that Okada and Speedball are around.
The pay-per-view should go off the air and they should still be fighting, and then tune into Dynamite. The tape machines are rolling.
No. Don't give it to them on Dynamite. No. Tune into our press scrum. We're going to be showing the end of Anarchy in the Arena right into our conversations with Renee Paquette and Tony Khan.
No.
Yes. Make them watch the YouTube, Jeremy. Monetize the situation.
Okay, sure. But it doesn't end there either. It goes all the way to Dynamite. They're fighting for 3 straight days. The fans are still in the arena and everything. They might have to leave, go to work, come back, whatever. They still just like keep the arena booked the whole time. It's the same arena. They're still fighting. And then maybe it ends on Dynamite. Maybe they just keep going until Collision, and then the following Dynamite, and then the following Collision. And then as Ryan has it, like maybe it's all the way to the next pay-per-view. They're having Anarchy in the Arena at All In. People show up to All In. Like, where's the matches? Oh, shit, they're still in Arizona. Why are they still in Arizona? We got to go all the way to Arizona now to watch this pay-per-view? Because Jon Moxley is still in Anarchy in the Arena. Will Ospreay's got to now join the fray in Anarchy in the Arena. Hangman's got to now join the fray in that one, because we don't know who wins yet. And then all the people at Globe Life are just sitting there. They're watching the show on the big screen. That's it. They're just watching it. That's what they paid for. They paid thousands of dollars to watch the conclusion of Double or Nothing on a big screen for AEW All In.
That's how you know you've made it, baby. Did you look at this? After Double or Nothing, they do El Paso. And then it's Fyter Fest June 4th. Summer Blockbuster June 11th. Grand Slam Mexico June 18th. And then Dynamite 300 is July 2nd. Day after Canada Day in Ontario, California. Close enough. there's some very interesting bookings going on. But Double or Nothing looks like a fun show. They've definitely they picked it up this week, adding the Anarchy in the Arena match, although it's not official, but it's official.
They should fight on the plane. They should fight on the money plane. Jensen would love that shit. You can bet on a guy fucking an alligator.
Has he watched it yet? Has he watched Money Plane? I feel like that would turn him off from the sports betting thing.
Nah, he'd love it. He'd be like, where can I find this at? Where can I go bet on a guy fucking an alligator?
He's gonna contact Kelsey Grammer and be like, Kelsey, I need to know where the Money Plane is.
Cope is in that. It's his best performance ever.
It is, really.
Yeah.
Money Plane. So
what a movie that was.
What an awful movie that was.
That movie rules.
What if Kate?
That's the only thing I can tolerate Cope in.
Yeah, that's fair. What about when he planks?
No, I don't see him do that.
It's Tracy Christian doing it.
I want a sponsorship from them.
Did you know that Christian co-owns this thing?
Yeah.
I had no idea until I saw the clip of him talking about how he co-owns it.
No, I know it's both of them.
I thought they just kind of bought into it / became sponsors of it, not owners of it.
Sorry, King Potato popped me. Just betting on how quickly a guy comes from fucking an alligator. Do you think Jensen would bet on porn?
Yes. Yes. If there's a bet to be had, he might consider it.
Like live porn betting. Like,
cannot be legal.
You get to go on set.
No.
And you just
he's gonna learn some hard truths about the adult film industry if he goes on set.
You get to watch, and it's like, all right, over under 9.5 minutes.
It's bad to admit this on the air. I know some people who could hook him up with an opportunity to see these things.
I feel like we should make dreams come true here.
I don't know if these are dreams. No. What are we doing? Stop. We got to stop giving Jensen opportunities to lose his money.
Oh, Anthony Green was on the show. This is SB309. He was talking about like they would bet on like WCW Saturday night matches of like how many bumps a guy with like this enhancement talent would be taking and stuff. Like, oh, that's a cool gimmick to do. We're gonna take it a step further. We're gonna go on Twitch and do live porn betting for everybody. You think we get banned?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
They banned RVD and his partner from the TNA Twitch.
That sucks.
That was hilarious. I love how like TNA made a big deal out of their return to Twitch. We got our Twitch back. I'm like, why did you lose it? Don't ask. I remember watching that and just being like, well, that's the end of them.
Do you think there's like a real money plane that people
100% yes. If you can, there is a YouTube, so Vice, right? Everyone knows Vice because of Vice TV and Dark Side of the Ring and all the dark side stuff. The Vice YouTube channel also has something called Informer. And I think I've talked to Sean about this before. Not the same as the Snow Song. This is Informer, where there are people wearing like completely nondescript masks and covered up head to toe because they are talking about their experiences with like the most heinous of things, including like billionaires who would rent out hotels and have like depravity parties and do like the most disgusting shit, or like people who work for Meta and have to deal with like community what am I trying to say? I don't want to say the words on stream because then we'll get demonetized, but they have to look at the awful stuff that shows up on Meta platforms and deal with that, whether it's WhatsApp or Instagram or Facebook. They're moderators and like the horrible violation of terms. That's the one. All this stuff, it's all there. And if it exists, Informer's either done something on it or it still exists out there and someone just hasn't talked about it. So go watch Informer on the Vice YouTube channel. It's very good. But you hear about some awful shit.
So in Ring of Hallucinations, I'm gonna have a person with a gambling addiction. And he's gonna just be betting. Who can use this gimmick? in Ring of Hallucinations. Let's look at the roster. One of the frat house guys would be able to
I was gonna
do
say
this.
Jack Jameson.
Nah, Jameson, he's too much of the leader of the frat house. It's gotta be like Preston or Griff Garrison. Yeah, so one of the frat house guys is gonna have this gimmick, and he's just gonna have a gambling addiction, and he's gonna be betting on the matches. He's gonna be betting on commentary. They're gonna find that he's been betting on other matches and everything. Who did it? They did this during the pandemic. Like, wasn't it the Guns? The Guns were like kind of doing like some gambling in the crowd.
Yeah, like MJF and Spears
Yeah.
were doing it too in the crowd.
Yeah. So, but we're going full bore with this gambling addiction gimmick.
We're gonna set up a damn craps table on the entranceway.
We can do that, but people are gonna come to them like a bookie as well. It's like I think Bandito is gonna win in 5.5 minutes, and so then like people might be interfering in matches to make sure Bandito wins, and we're gonna definitely get a person who is betting on their own stuff and losing on purpose, but they're actually winning because they're getting more money because they're betting against themselves in that regard. Oh man, I could get a lot of mileage out of this gambling addiction storyline.
Just give Jensen 5 minutes. He'll tell you all about it.
Jensen's gonna be there. He's gonna do a cameo.
Yeah. So I was thinking about this too. It's time to give Bear Bronson a new gimmick. He's no longer Big Bear Bronson. He is now Big Bear Gambleholic.
I love Bear Bronson. I would have spot for him.
Is he working NGI?
I think so. Yeah.
Tournament of Survival, Cage of Survival. He is doing that. We should have him on because that's his debut.
Okay.
His deathmatch debut.
I'll reach out.
All right. Yeah. June 8th. So we got a couple of weeks till that, but he's also just fantastic. I like him.
I'll reach out. I'll see if we can get him on. I would make him an actual bear in Ring of Hallucinations. Yeah. He's in that clip of Seth Rollins. He's on this Netflix series called The Bet. It's not The Bet. It's just called Bet. More gambling. This all ties together, everybody. And he's dressed in a beaver costume. And like he's fighting this dude in like a boiler room. And he hits like a suplex. And his beaver costume helmet pops off. And the guy he's fighting is like, "Who are you?" He's like, "I'm Seth freaking Rollins. Burn it down, bitch." Ha 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 ha. And then like his music starts playing and he's beating the shit out of this dude. And he gives him the stomp. And then he walks off. He's like, "I'm the fucking beaver." And that's it. That's all. That's his whole cameo on this thing. My point is, I'm going to make Bear Bronson an actual bear. And he can fight the beaver. And we're going to pretend like it's Seth Rollins as this beaver. But it's not actually Seth Rollins. It might be. I mean, he might be hard up. He might want to come to Ring of Hallucinations,
Seth Beaver Rollins.
Yeah. Go check out the clip. I wrote an article on it on Fightful, so you can watch the clip there.
You do. Yeah, that's right. Wasn't there a bear at Mystery Wrestling? Probably.
Yeah, there was. They
did a roast of Mystery Wrestling. We talked about that.
But see, I'm not gonna have Bear Bronson like dressed up as like a bear. No, like, he's just gonna be
himself.
Yeah, he's gonna be himself, but like he's gonna be a bear. And the only person who can feed him is Bryan Danielson. And we're gonna do Bryan Danielson against Bear Bronson. And it's gonna be the greatest match of all time.
I'm fine with it.
Bear Bronson's gonna win all of his matches by bear hug. That's the only move he's gonna do. Is a bear hug and some clubs, just clubbing people. And puts him on a bear hug and beats him.
Yeah, well, he's a bear. He should be winning via bear hug. Why wouldn't he?
Yeah.
They still haven't announced any matches for tonight's episode of SmackDown.
They're not going to until like 2:00. I don't know why you're like. It's not going to be for a while.
Yeah. Well, we got nothing. That's it. That's SmackDown for tonight.
Why are we moving on to SmackDown? I have so many great ideas for Ring of Hallucinations.
Because we have to save some for the other shows.
No, we don't. You act like I'm not an idea factory, Joel. That's all I do.
Sometimes I wonder if that factory goes down tonight.
Doesn't. Nope.
Should probably take a rest. Just 3 hours of yapping. That's going to be SmackDown tonight.
I hope so.
Nobody says nobody does anything. They just talk their way into Money in the Bank.
That would actually rule.
Money in the Bank is a debate.
They should all sit up on the ladders like they did that one year.
Yep, they did it for multiple years. It was only memorable for one.
That's what they should do, though. And then whoever has the best debate gets the Money in the Bank contract. But you can only cash it in like via another debate, though. So like you got to cash it in when your opponent is like really down and out. That way you can easily win because they can't respond to anything. The problem is you got to really pick your spot. Like John Cena, you could easily cash in on. He just laid out every week and he like doesn't move. You're fucked against Jay. Because like, let's say you cash in on Jay and you do your promo, you do your debate, you make your point and everything. But if Jay can say yeet, you're gonna lose. The crowd's gonna kill for the yeet. So you automatically lose on that one. Against Cena, he gets laid out with one finisher and he's out for like 10 minutes. So that's you got to actually cash in on.
So everyone's gonna cash in on John Cena.
Yeah.
Not the Eat Man. I get it. They're in line to deposit checks for 3 hours. What? No. They should just have it should just be talking. Because WWE is all about the talking. It's all about the yapping to get you in. And so that's how they cash in their briefcase. I have intentions to cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase. And then they have to run somebody down to say, why would you like to do this? And it becomes a whole talking set. It's like a filibuster. Then the champion has to come through and got to retort why they shouldn't be able to cash in. And if the champion is strong enough with their retort, then that's it. Like you said,
who decides this?
Who decides this? The general managers. No, the general managers. Crowd means nothing.
Okay.
Nick Aldis is going to have a field day with this. Adam Pearce is just going to throw his shit in the air and be like, I quit. You figure it out yourself.
Money in the Bank is just Jensen betting on people's transactions at the bank. They're going to deposit $500 or less. Deposit like $505. Fuck. Oh.
We shouldn't be joking about it just because he's clearly got something going on. But here we are.
What do you mean I can't joke about it? He's the one saying these things.
But we need to start an Jensen. Like it's not good.
No, let Jensen live. I'm going to get him a booking out of this. He's going to make an appearance on Ring of Hallucinations.
I just hope he doesn't burn through all of his money.
He's going to shack up with his neighbor's something. I don't know what you were saying earlier.
What? The neighbor's kid. They can meet, fall in love, and the neighbor's kid will be like, why you gotta spend all your money on gambling? Why don't you spend it on, our family? And then Jensen's like, you're right.
I hope Jensen says over under 1 more minute this relationship lasts. You took the under, you won.
Now it's getting sad. Oh, Live Glass sent a super chat for Jeremy's grind. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you, Live Glass.
Oh God. Listen, it's an undeniable grind, but sometimes it's gotta grind to a halt so he can actually, sleep or something.
Gonna grind some kratom and take a bunch of that.
Jesus Christ. What are we doing? What is this show?
RVD can just do it on stream.
That's true. The FDA doesn't really like that drug, but who cares? RVD likes it.
I get all my drug advice from RVD.
That is the one you should probably listen to.
Yeah.
He is the guy who would know.
Yeah, he knows what the hell he's talking about.
Yeah.
I think, maybe.
The neighbor's kid is not a bad optic just because the neighbor's kid might be older. Apparently, this is an old woman living next door to Jensen. So,
optics.
No, it's not. We're just trying to fix him up. What, do you want to use Bumble or Hinge or Tinder? Like, no, it's all. Jensen's gonna place bets on whether or not someone's gonna actually swipe right.
Jensen's on Picket and looking for love. That's a gambling I don't want to say term because Picket's not a term. That's a gambling app for those unaware. It's a bet tracker, is what it is. Jensen's like, who is up over 50 units this month? That's who I gotta look for.
Seems problematic.
Nah.
Oh, the Roast of Mystery Wrestling, by the way, airs at noon Eastern.
Okay.
So for those who want to watch it, it's on the Mystery Wrestling YouTube channel.
Okay.
It's gonna be some fun names. Stu Grayson's gonna tell jokes.
I don't think any of these roasts are good. Like,
London Lightning's gonna tell jokes.
see, the thing is like they know it's gonna be kind of like dumb and silly, so they'll get away with
Absolutely.
more compared to other roasts where they think it's like actually funny. But it's no interest really in that. Like it's bad on purpose. Haha. See? It's like
Just like the John Cena heel turn. So when does Cody come back?
I don't know. He's apparently advertised for SmackDown tonight.
Oh, that's right. He is advertised for tonight.
Yeah,
probably in a dark match.
If you have Cody and you just put him on a dark match, that feels like a waste.
Not for the live crowd. I don't know, man. There was that reporting about the tag team match at Money in the Bank about the potential of doing Cena and Travis Scott, maybe a tag or a 6-man.
That rules. Against who? Cody and R-Truth?
I mean, they did it last year at Money in the Bank where it was a 6-man with Cody.
Yeah, that sucked.
It did suck, but like because the emphasis is on the Money in the Bank winners, and also it could be Jay. Maybe they'll put Jay in that match because Jay's not defending at Money in the Bank. They've pretty much established that the Gunther match is going to be it's the night after Money in the Bank.
They ain't putting Travis Scott in there with like 2 wrestlers.
So what's it going to be?
I told you, Cody and R-Truth.
Cody and R-Truth versus John Cena and Travis Scott.
Yeah,
that's an interesting.
They're not putting. They're not putting Jay in there. Like Cody and Jay's the champion.
Allegedly.
Maybe it'll be Cody and Shawn against Cena and Travis.
Jeremy, I just got an email this morning. I wasn't going to appear on, but I did this just solely to show you what kind of a student I was in college.
Fired? Okay.
What?
I said, am I fired?
Oh, no, you're not fired.
No.
I got a message on my shoot email, which I haven't given out in years. And here's what it read. Hey, not sure if you remember me. I was in your sports media class in 2021 at Morehead State University. I remember you did a PowerPoint presentation on how the Knicks would not win an NBA title until at least 2025 because of the Carmelo trade. My brother is a Knicks fan, and I remember telling him at the time and him laughing and saying, what an idiot. Then this morning he goes, hey, do you remember when you told me that? He goes, then I looked you up and saw that you're doing wrestling stuff. Hope you're doing well. And then they asked me if I still had the PowerPoint presentation. I don't actually, but listen.
You were on the ball. I mean, it is 2025.
I have never been keen on the idea of mortgaging your future for one player, especially with the package the Knicks gave up for Carmelo. But man.
Well, the Thunder are going to have to do that with Giannis this summer after we lose Game 7. So,
but I mean, listen, they accumulated like 437 picks at one point. Like,
yeah, we're going to give them all up for Giannis.
They just ran the 2K trade finder and it worked. It was
you can acquire picks so easily. It rules on 2K.
Yeah, it's unreal. What I would always do, I would always get like the lowest rated like 7'6" center, and I would apply untapped potential on him every year. And then like I would be playing Nikita Krylov fan at that game, and all of a sudden what happened to this guy? He was rated 46 last year. Yeah, well, buddy, not anymore.
I haven't played video games in so long. It's a sad life nowadays. I just
Same.
cry over real sports instead.
My Switch is sitting right here and it hasn't been touched. Poor thing.
We're all just old and
Yeah.
bored.
I have 3
nowadays.
PlayStation 5s. I don't know how I got them.
3? What?
What?
Yeah, I'm gonna sell one. So I got one, and then I wanted the Pro, and then my Pro stopped working, only for it to have catfished me, and I bought a new one already. So I'm
Oh.
gonna get rid of probably the old. No, I'll probably get rid of whatever one doesn't have the physical disk drive.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I'm gonna get rid of it.
It's gonna be his next giveaway on Twitter.
Not quite, not quite. Listen, I'm trying to get that Facebook monetized.
That's
So
right.
maybe that. It's a
Soon.
nightmare.
It's coming.
Sean, do you
Yeah,
have an
I
update
hope-
on Jack Perry? We're all waiting to Jack.
No,
off
in fact,
Jack
I have
Perry.
completely got out of the Jack Perry news business after what you all said yesterday.
That's unfortunate.
I wasn't
Wow.
there. I
The
am
fans demand Jack Perry. We need to know where Jack Perry is.
Yeah. Do you think maybe Jack has evacuated?
No, he doesn't evacuate. His name's not
What-
Vac Perry.
Be pretty cool if it was. There was the Stretch Armstrong villain in the mid 90s when they brought it back was the Vac Man. And so you had like the Stretch Armstrong, but then you had Vac Man that you could stretch out, but then you pump it full of air and it just stays there. It's pretty dope, honestly.
I can only think of how Christopher Reeve says Hackman in South Park when you're saying Vac Man.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. I'm leaving now.
Bye, Sean. Enjoy your day.
Should have asked him what the matches are tonight for SmackDown.
I just want an update on Jack Perry. That's all. I feel like I'm not asking too much here.
Who knows? Maybe Jack Perry will be the new leader of Chase U.
We need Jack Perry.
Jack U.
Everyone, see, we want to start jacking it. The jack off's got to rise up. We need Jack Perry back.
You know what? Yeah, all this talk about Anarchy in the Arena and what song they're going to play, they should just get Travis Scott's Fiend.
Oh, God. I feel like they would turn viewers off if they did
They've
that.
already paid. They've already paid. It doesn't matter.
Nah, they might. They're going to see like, oh, 10,000 people. I might be lowballing. 10,000 people turn this pay-per-view, but for some reason, they all turned it off at 11:30 and didn't watch the end of the main event.
Sounds like a them problem, not an us problem.
You know what they should do? Legit is wait, they get 7 seconds, right? Before like they can get sued or whatever.
I think it's more than
So-
that, but regardless.
Okay. So they should play it and then like the Young Bucks, that's actually a babyface move. Swerve cuts it off and he's like, fuck this Travis Scott song. That's what they should do.
It's just going to be Swerve's theme the whole time.
Swerve's got a good theme. I actually think them playing Fiend and then having Swerve cut it off 7 seconds in, be like, we don't want to hear this shit anymore. And then they play something else. That would get such a big pop. Are you kidding me? Oh, he'd be the biggest baby face in wrestling if he did that.
They should do Mr. Brightside.
I don't know about that.
Everyone should fight to Mr. Brightside. If they were in Vegas, they'd do it because the Killers are from Vegas.
I don't know about that, but maybe.
Oh, they are from Vegas. That is, yeah, they are a Vegas band. Who's from Arizona that you could play?
I don't know.
Bands from Phoenix. They're in Glendale, but let's just whatever. Play some Soulfly. Play some Jetsam. Halford. None of this works. Mr. Wow. These are some old. Oh, these are some awful band options. Come on. Alice Cooper. You just play Schools Out for Schools Out. Band. Let's narrow it out or open it up. Bands from Arizona. Oh, Jimmy Eat World. The Gin Blossoms. I like these. Okay, let's go. Job for a Cowboy? Nah, I don't like them that much. Seen them live though. They're a band. Yeah, no, I think we're sticking with who we have already. Alice Cooper.
Okay.
Glad we got that. Oh, there's also the band called I Hate You When You're Pregnant. Just gonna let that sit there. Don't disrespect Soulfly. They disrespect themselves by continuing to make music.
What is Soulfly?
A band.
Oh, okay.
You spent those 2 seconds just drafting a tweet for that.
What?
The Fiend thing.
Yeah. I wasn't paying attention to you listing off a bunch of bands.
You don't want Jimmy Eat World?
I don't mind Jimmy Words. Just take some time, then and take some time, and something about the middle.
The song is called The Middle.
Yeah.
So kudos to you for knowing the name of the song.
Yeah, I know the name of the song. I don't know the lyrics.
Are the Eagles?
It just takes some time. That's the only lyric. That's the only line I know.
That's true. Listen, if there's one thing that no wrestling company should ever do, and that's book a live band to play music on the air, it's not good. Can't mic it well, it's not good. But the Eagles coming to play, that's the answer right there. Anyway, anything else to talk about? Very much.
Is that what it is? You're gonna be all right, all right? Is that the lyric?
Yeah, it's gonna be all right, all right.
All right. Just
copy your address. I'm gonna talk to you in person. No, thank you. Ask
I'll
Adrian Hernandez.
I'll give you Joel's address.
You give me the address? Okay.
Yeah.
For $500, you can have Joel's address.
DM me and I'll send you Joel's address.
If you can get past the gates.
Yeah, that's true. The GPS is gonna take you in some wacky ass way.
Good on us. We got it.
You'll never get in.
Oh man. Did you guys talked about the Herp Syndicate stuff from Dynamite? What did you land on when it comes to MJF?
I don't remember. I feel like we had some. I think we landed on that the tag division sucks.
Well, that's a no-brainer.
That's all I remember.
So they've accepted MJF into the Hurt Syndicate, and now they're all baby faces, I guess.
For now.
They getting that pyro now? No, clearly not. There it is. Leave a thumbs up if you haven't already. Yeah, it just I'm wondering what this is going to be, because like you said, it's not about the AEW tag division. That thing sucks. It's going to be the Sons of Texas are going to be getting tag title shots. It's time to just take all the ROH titles, just combine them with the AEW ones. Just be done with it. It's over. Let it go, and that should be it. That's pretty much all I have to say.
Okay. I mean, I'm not giving you any more insight on this tag division. It's not good.
No, it's not. There's not much else from Dynamite. I thought it was a solid show. It's fine. Gabe Kidd was a fun little introduction or interaction. But other than that, show came and went. Can't think of anything that was like super duper important.
Ring of Hallucinations. We're gonna have a great tag division.
That's true.
You're gonna put your keys in a bowl and then
no, we're not doing this. Nope, can't do it. Not anymore. Nope.
That's how we figure out the tag partners in Ring of Hallucinations.
Not happening. Not happening. Forget Jack Perry. What happened to Private Party? Well, watch House of Glory to find out. Because that's the places you'll find them. Private Party. Let's take a look. Where have they worked since then? Matches. They haven't worked since the last House of Glory show, the one before this.
They worked like one House of Glory show. How's it?
I hope they're okay. Just as human beings, I hope they're okay. Have they done any? There's nothing else. They haven't worked any other singles matches. Huh. All right. Collision is tomorrow.
Allegedly.
Is it tomorrow? Yeah, it's on Saturday. It is a Saturday night Collision. You want to run this down? And then we can get out of here?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, good night, everybody.
Sure, if you want to run down the Collision card, go for it.
No, not really, because it's a tape show and you guys can watch it or don't. I don't care.
It's fine. It seems like a fine show. I don't know.
It's fine. AEW Beach Break Collision. Saw that they added Anna Jay versus that they did Anna Jay versus Megan Bain. That'll be fun.
Yeah, it seems like a fine show. I don't know. I'm gonna be dead on Sunday, so it doesn't really matter.
True. Hobbs versus Yuta. Good stuff. Bandito Ishii and Brody King versus Lance Archer. Romero and Trent. That's a funny ass trios match. Tribute to Steve Mongo McMichael should be fun with Ric Flair. It should be very heartwarming. Blake Christian, the $1 Million Vanilla Baby takes on Speedball.
I'm Vanilla Baby.
Thank you. Kyle Fletcher takes on Air Fox. Big Bill and Brian Keith take on the Gates of Agony in a street fight, a Chicago street fight. Jeremy, where is the street fight?
On the beach, the beautiful beaches of Chicago.
You big dumb bitch.
If they aren't battling on the beach, what is the point of this?
Well, it's a street fight, Jeremy. It's not a beach fight.
But it's beach break. It should be on the beach. It should start on the beach and end up on the streets. We want to freak on the beach, but a lady in the streets. Right?
Nice
Isn't
try.
how that goes?
I don't think that's how it goes. Nice try, though.
All right.
Ain't much else there. And the Sons of Texas take on Crew. The winner's face hurts in to get a double or nothing for the tag titles.
I hate that match with all my fiber.
Main event. Chicago has nice beaches, says Ryan. I don't believe it.
There you go.
All right.
I can't stand that match.
Is it because of Crew?
Nah, I don't mind Crew. It's like what? Why are we doing this match? Stop it.
You know why.
I'm mad that Jeff Jarrett returned and has not been on television since. They're Scorpio Skying my guy Jeff Jarrett.
Jeff Jarrett and Scorpio Sky should form a tag team. Call themselves like the Lost Brothers. Not literally Lost Brothers, but just their Lost Brothers.
I don't know about that.
Oh, and then just have them tag up for... They got to boost up the tag division in AEW. That's one way to do it.
Jeff Jarrett would be the ace of Ring of Hallucinations.
I'm sure he would. Would he be the champion?
Well, he's the ace. We don't have titles in Ring of Hallucinations.
Just hallucinations, right?
Yeah.
Would he be the one handing out the drugs?
It's in his guitar. Like,
No, it's some
he's
Elijah
smuggling
Field
them.
shit.
He's smuggling them in his guitar.
It's a big empty... Anyway, it doesn't matter. Oh, God. This show is done. I am done here. Do you have anything to plug before we get on out of here?
I will not be on Monday's show. Please send all your super chat money to pay for my funeral services and to pay for my family, to keep supporting them as I pass. Yeah, that's all.
Look, Kratom will help me feel better. You get it?
I didn't really hear what you said.
He said a little Kratom will help you feel better.
Nope. Nah,
Nope. Probably not. No, we
Don't.
tried.
Don't want a bunch of kratom.
No.
I want to just move on.
Well, I'll probably be here. It is a holiday Monday here in Canada, so my plan is to be here. But we'll do our show. Talk about whatever comes up over the weekend.
I will not be here.
All right. Well, then me and maybe SP3 will be here, or a ghost, or I'll be solo for 2 hours, and that'll be really great. So go enjoy your weekend. Be safe. Have fun, or don't.
Oh, I do want to plug one thing.
Oh my God! Really? What?
We're supposed to have Matt Mako on the show next week. I know I'm trying to get better about like plugging interviews, even though every time I plug an interview it falls through. But we've actually had good luck with the interviews lately and people showing up. So Matt Mako, he just got announced for Action Dean 2 next week. He's facing Lee Moriarty for the Peer title. He was also on ROH last night against Wheeler Yuta. So Matt Mako's a pal, and he's gonna be on the show next week. Looking forward to chatting with him ahead of Action Dean 2, and hopefully we can get some other people on the show.
Shout out to Matt. Every time you guys bring him on, he gets another booking. That's always fun.
Yeah, like Matt. But I'm not going to be here for that interview. So
I thought that was Tuesday. Right. You can't really come back from the dead. Well, we'll figure it out. Till then, for Jeremy Lambert, you know who I am. You know who he is. Enjoy your weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, friends of me on the binary. We'll see you when we see you.
There's no enjoyment this weekend, only pain. Goodbye, everybody.
Nihilism rules.